Welcome back. Wednesday evening, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday morning, wherever you are around the world. It is my pleasure to welcome you back to the Lightemup Lounge with another special feature, another special guest. And indeed, we have two special guests tonight. I'm delighted and honored to welcome Romi and Fouad from Hiram and Solomon Cigars. They will be talking to us about their incredible journey with cigars, the inspiration behind the brand, and without further ado, we'll kickstart things right away. As always, if you have any questions over on Facebook, all friends, family, cigar community, welcome to you as well. If you have questions, please put them underneath the live video. Always checking the live streams to forward all these questions to our special guests, and for our friends and regulars here at the lounge, you know the spiel. So thanks for tuning in, and yes, welcome, Romi, Fouad. Pleasure to have you.
We're honored to be invited, and we are guests, not a special guest. We're just a guest,
we're just people who share the passion, Reinhard. Yes. We're happy to share it with you.
Yes, we're just another people that like to share the passion, as she's put it, and we are very honored to be here. And I will thank you, everyone that's taking time from their precious time during the day, during this crazy time, to be in here, to sit down, either to share their opinion or to listen to some of the stuff that we have to say. And you're welcome. Any questions, as Reinhard said, we'll be more than happy to answer whatever we can answer. We are not the expert, but we know a little bit of some stuff, and whatever we know, we will share.
That's great to hear. And I'm curious, and I would like to start at the beginning with probably a more cultural question and the surrounding elements of Hiram and Solomon, since Cigars and Freemasonry share quite many interesting attributes. And so I'm curious, what in your perspective makes the two of them such an interesting and great match?
You're referring to the Freemasonry and the cigar world?
Correct.
Referring to it's. I know how many of you is familiar with the Freemasons in the world. It's a brotherhood. The Freemasonry and one of the oldest brotherhood or fraternity in the world, and we pride ourselves calling each other brothers. So anyone, it's a brother for me in the world, as long as if you belong to the fraternity. And historically, people during the 1800s or the 1700s, people who joined the fraternity were on the upper class, the rich people only. And at that time, things changed right now, but at that time, that's what used to be. Very influential, very rich. And these people at that time also smoke what the rich people do, smoke cigar and drink cognac and wine. So the culture of cigar smoking was embedded with the fraternity idea from the early beginning, to a point where in our minutes in the 1800s, 1830, it does mention that before the meeting, the cigars were distributed, cut, lit, and then the meeting started. And as you all know here, in the cigar industry, we all call ourselves as the BOTL, the Brotherhood of the Cigar, and the Brotherhood of Freemasonry. So you understand that bond that cigar smokers have, and that non-cigar smoker will not get it. They will not understand what's that bond. When I walk into a place, I see somebody smoking a cigar, I can easily open a conversation, friendly conversation with him, and continue going on for minutes or hours without any need for any other subject. And the same thing with the fraternity, with the Mason. When I know somebody is a Mason, without me knowing who the guy is, I can open a conversation. Now, taking two of them together, combining them for the right cause of for creating a great cigar. And we pride ourselves to saying that we do have a great cigar that
see that card. Of course, any jack will now tie Bruce.
As I said, I was saying that we pride ourselves on having an excellent cigar that we can compete with any major brands in the market, and with the fraternity itself. And as I always said, we did not create the fraternity, we did not create cigar smoking, but we mastered combining two of them together towards one goal. It's donating some to charity. We do lots for charity. We don't like to brag about it, but that's how the cigars company started, is to collect some money for charity, for scholarship, for hospitals, the Shriner hospitals. And we started it as a hobby. It grew up so fast that technically we needed more help. And we're now in many countries and many lounges in the US.
That's an interesting path, most certainly, and an inspiring one that will bring a lot of challenges, obviously, along the way. There is, I believe, certain milestones when you're growing a cigar brand from scratch. I believe that with probably the first 10,000, I remember in an interview you once said that in the first year when you hit that 10,000 mark, that's truly like a milestone. And once things start to evolve from there, I believe, and I would assume at some point, just becomes a very dynamic process and almost like your exponential growth right there. At what point did you realize or get that feeling that things were truly moving, things were happening, and that the brand was spreading beyond the limitations, and I'm saying this in a very positive way, of the lodge and the brotherhood as such, but really start evolving into a global brand?
Yes, I understand exactly what you're saying. And yes, it was a very strange and weird and scary time too. Coming into a business, which, as I said at the beginning, when we rolled the first 1,000 cigar for a scholarship, and we were happy that we sold it in a couple of weeks to the brothers, and we collected $5,000. I remember very well at that time for the scholarship. We end up rolling another 1,000 cigar, then another lodge heard about the program. They called us. They said, "Oh, we heard you're doing this. Can you help us?" I said, "Sure." And the first year we started in August. By January, we were sold 10,000 cigars. And yes, that was the milestone, 10,000 cigars sold. And again, we did not know much. We were at that time rolling in Dominican Republic, and we were being charged very high. We were happy we were selling it, making money for a scholarship. Not until May of the following year, we start getting phone calls from cigar lounges asking that people are coming and asking about the cigar, how can we get it? And again, we had no idea about pricing. We had no idea how to send it to the retailers. Everything for us was from scratch. I'm a 35-year cigar smoker. She's almost the same 30 cigar smoker.
I was born with a cigar. I'm 35.
And but no idea about the business of the cigar. And this is where we decided to move to Nicaragua and to the Plasencia factory, where we improved on what original lines that we have. We got much better pricing that we felt we can compete in the market, knowing how the cigars are priced from the retailer to the wholesaler to the wholesaler to from the manufacturer to the wholesaler to the retailer to the consumer. And once we knew that, we start definitely looking differently. The second milestone came when when we broke our 100,000 cigar. And the first biggest one after that, when we got our first international phone call, and that they needed the cigar, and surprisingly was in the Congo in Africa. And I ended up hanging up on the guy because I did not believe him. So, and here we're right now. We come from different business background. We almost neglected our other businesses to focus completely on this business, on this passion, I would call it. I was one time at the IPCPR, and they had somebody lecturing, and he was talking about there is no passion. He was, and surely that guy was lecturing into the wrong crowd, because everyone over there was a cigar smoker, and this is a passion. And if you don't have a passion for it, yes, it's a business, but it's a passion also combined. If you don't have the passion for it, you're not going to succeed. You're not going to know what you're going to do, and you will not enjoy it, which is the most important thing. If you're not enjoying what you're doing the wrong thing.
coming from that different background, do you sometimes think of that as a blessing much rather than a burden, or was it just way more challenging to kickstart things because you probably weren't familiar with the way things are done in the cigar industry? Because to a certain extent, that can also have a very refreshing and new and exciting element that will probably, just give you a different perspective on things and make it easier in certain ways.
It is different. Yes, it was a welcome challenge at the beginning. Yes, we had some moments where we said, what are we doing? We questioned ourselves. We questioned the existing of the company, whether we continue or we don't continue, because when the growth comes, other problem comes with it also, and we were not prepared for that. We grew faster than we ever expected. The 3 years, 4 years in a row right now, we are labeled the fastest growing boutique cigar in the world. I don't know what the definition of boutique cigar, whomever's put it there, but that's what we're called. And at this moment, I will accept it as such. So that came with a lot of challenges. It is scary. Having some retail background helped us a little bit on seeing what we need to do about the boxes and stuff like this. But beside that, we were challenged at the beginning. No one wanted to talk to us. No company wanted to roll for us at the beginning. Everyone we spoke to, they refused, from big manufacturer to small manufacturer. Everybody, no phone calls were answered and stuff. But right now, we're very, I said with the pride that now we get calls from big companies that they want to do joint venture with us and to roll our cigars. So,
it's like an art, an artist, a painter, he's never happy and he's never satisfied with the sale. He doesn't even know how to do it. And this is a passion in itself. It's an art in itself. So you're very happy to do it, but then sometimes you get disappointed. You never grow big until you know your value yourself. That's when you realize it. And that's when we realized it during the pandemic, because we really thought, wait a minute, what we're doing must be right, because thank God we're not just where we are, we're growing. In the year and a half that been now really a big trouble for everyone. We fought very hard, and there we are. This year we doubled our orders. We started you're going to go to that question, I'm sure, but we started new countries during the pandemic, and we were a little bit overwhelmed in a way, like, how are we going to do it? We're growing so fast. It's like a premature baby. All of a sudden that baby is walking and talking and it's out and about. You need to take care of the business even more seriously now. We've always been serious, but we never knew the magnitude of it. Like I said, that painter who just sold his first big painting, and he just is a superstar now. We're not saying we're superstars. What we're saying now, we know the value of our cigars. It's made with lots of passion and lots of hard work. We don't take it by chance. We do it and we make it happen.
That obviously is a very fair point. And when I think about the challenges that you're describing with the early beginnings, creating a Masonic inspired cigar might seem a little gimmicky in terms of marketing to certain people, probably. Do you think that was one of the hurdles you had to overcome to convince people that you were actually for real and not just trying to sort of bring a marketing story that was a bit made up? And then my second question to that is, how do you on a daily basis make sure to convey those values, beliefs, and the attributes of Freemasonry into that culture of smoking cigars, and Hiram Solomon in particular?
You're absolutely right. As much as the first 1,000 cigars were welcomed among the brothers to buy them, when we start growing, we got the first attack by Mason haters, if I want to call it. We were called all kinds of names that you can call it, from the devilish cigar to the satanic cigars to anything that you want. But that's acceptable also. We got to expect both sides. It was very challenging, but the first biggest challenge was to make even the Brotherhood accept to take that logo that we have and add it to a cigar. It took us a few years of going back and forth to get their support. We don't need their approval because nobody owns the right for the square and compass. And I always say, compare it to nobody owns the right for the cross. Everybody can make cross and put it everywhere they want. Same with the Freemasonry. Square and compass are not an entity. Now, if you say a Grand Lodge of the Freemasons of England, that's different. But when you take a cigar, a square and compass, and you put it on somewhere, but their support was very needed. And that's what we were looking for. It took us a few years, and they had a lot of condition about it. They needed to taste the cigar. They need the cigar that has a value to it, not just any cigar or a very cheap cigar that does not give the value to the logo that it's carrying. And secondly, was we were not allowed. It was no sexuality to be included in any of the advertisement of the cigar itself. So we welcome sexy, but sexuality is not accepted, as we said. So going forward with that, once we start selling them, the first year, especially in Europe, nobody wanted to talk to us at the beginning, but that was okay too, because I was expecting it. They explained to me the whole how the things work. It was different than here. In the US, a lot of people ask us to leave their stores because this is a gimmicky store. You're going to disappear in 1 year. If you're still alive after 1 year, come back. We went back after 1 year. If you're alive at the second year, come back. And everybody thought that we're going to be here for a short period of time. We're going to sell what we have. Well, we're not going to be able to continue. And they didn't want to give us a shelf space. And I do understand absolutely, as a retailer, giving up the shelf space, that it's supposed to make money for somebody. And after 3-4 months, you're not going to be there. So that was a big challenge, but we proved ourselves in a very professional way. And that's why we grew. We had this growth, international and domestic also. And the third challenge was from people who are not Freemasons, that they have a different idea about Freemasonry, that they were afraid approaching the cigar because whatever ideas they have about the Masonry, saying that we're not Freemason, can we smoke the cigar? In another way, it intrigued some people that they had good ideas about, or they wanted to become a Mason, to take the cigar and look into it more and calling us. And another small challenge was from the female perspective, which were also concerned or afraid or not so sure if females are allowed to smoke anything that has a Masonic symbol in it. And that's why we came up with our hashtag, everyone's cigar. So it's for everyone. It's not just for Freemasons. We do bring the value of Freemasonry in our cigars, from the names to the strengths of the cigars. So each cigar, each name, will go into it, I'm sure later, why each cigar was named such or such. But we overcame most of the challenges. And definitely with the help of my wife over here, that smoking the cigar and stuff brought more value to the company, also as far as the other half of the population, which we always welcomed and encourage also to join us at any time, and for them to smoke also.
If I may ask, what were the early conversations amongst the two of you like when you first came up with the idea and the concept of Hiram and Solomon? When you were discussing that, what was the energy like? And Romi in particular, what was your thoughts about that, especially when you consider the female cigar culture and women, which are such an integral and most important part of the cigar community? To sort of bring that all under that one umbrella of Hiram and Solomon?
Listen, I was living in London when I met Fouad. I was smoking cigars, just Cuban cigars, because that's a culture there. We used to snob anything non-Cuban, unfortunately. And it was something new to discover that, wait a minute, I'm missing a lot in the world of taste, aromas, passion. It's a different world. It's like having the same bouquet of flowers every day. You know, at some point you just want to change that. You want to see something else. So that's how it started. When I met Fouad, he already had the business. He started the business, and one thing led to another. Now we are way more advanced in our blends, way more advanced in our decisions. We make every decision together because we don't even see the difference between male and female anymore. The big lesson you learned from social media is that everybody is accepting female or male smokers. It's sometimes outside this. You hear here and there 1% of people having some kind of funny thoughts about it. We don't see it. I don't even see that really. What we see also, very important to tell you, that most of our lady smokers, they like the blends that are on the stronger side of the blends. Whereas when I used to go in London to a store, they used to tell me, so what does he like? They always thought I'm buying a cigar for someone. So it was quite funny, right? I go, it's for me. And they always came with either cigarillos or a tiny bit of, not even like a lancero. It used to be very funny, but I never took it like that. I go like, I used to smoke Joyo, Epicur Dos. I used to smoke Trinidad the Lancero or a D4, regular D4, and it was always for, oh, who are you buying it to? So when Fouad and I started doing this in person, and when we are going now to the cigar factories in Nicaragua or in Dominican, and we're doing all the blends, it's a different world. It's not anymore a challenge. It's just to bring the best out of both taste, female, male. We don't even see like that. All the humans who share the passion for the cigar. And in Austria, you guys are very blessed because that sexism is almost non-existent. Well, in London, it was existent. I've encountered a few things, but you know, I know how to make myself available for the answer. But like I said, most of our lady smokers, they smoke exactly the same ratio of male smokers, the same blends, and sometimes they go on the stronger blends. I assume because we ladies wear stronger perfumes, more perfume than gentlemen, so our nose a little more blind than others. So that's why probably we like stronger tastes. I don't know. That must be a scientific research we should do about it. Very rarely I see a lady asking for Connecticut in all our events. Most of the time they ask for, I need the Maduro, I need like a stronger, Indonesian Sumatra, which is quite strong, a Brazilian Arapiraca, it's quite strong. I mean, I'm a Corojo fan mostly, and our new blends are Criollo. Again, it's robust, strong taste. So that's most of the time, that's the challenge, not the challenge, that's the thing we encountered during our venture together.
Fouad, when we look back a little bit in history, when you carved your path of success in the United States, things obviously changed quite a bit in your life, and still for so many people, the US is not only a leading country in cigar culture internationally, but also a fertile soil for entrepreneurial vision and fortune. Do you also believe that it's the perfect soil for Masonic ideas with that sort of very same background in mind?
U.S. was, I mean, population-wise, U.S. has the biggest numbers of Freemasonry, and it's the most open country when it comes to Freemasonry and the culture of Freemasonry, and the most accepted. The same as the business wise, but whereby outside the United States, Freemasonry is more secretive to a point where I'll give you an example. If I go to a cigar lounge in the US and then I ask, is there any Masons here? And right away I get people and stuff and screaming. And yeah, I was in Austria, I was in Sweden, and I asked, is there any Masons here? There's no answer. To find out later, one by one, after the whole fact is finished, one by one, they came, met me outside, gave me the handshake. They told me they were Masons. And when I asked them why you didn't say anything, he said, no, we don't do this stuff here. We don't announce it, so we don't wear rings. We all wear rings in the United States, and outside the US, that's not the case. We are in the US, Freemasonry is more oriented towards the families. So they have family participate in some events, not in the meetings, but in some events. I don't want to mislead anybody here. We don't accept women into the fraternity, but we have another auxiliary group called the Eastern Star that the wives, the mother, the daughters, and the sisters of a Mason can join that group. But even if they don't join that group, we welcome to join the whole family to join. And what happened through the creation of this company, which was not the purpose of it, is we became somehow ambassadors to the fraternity, for the fraternity, by people asking questions about the cigars, by people wanting to join, not knowing what to do. So we get a lot of messages, I want to join, or oh my God, or when somebody sees you when you're sitting in the cigar lounge and the first thing you ask somebody, what you're smoking? And usually they show you the cigar. Oh my God, I know that symbol, my father, my grandfather. There's always somebody in the family, right? Or they saw it on Discovery Channel, or whatever it is the case. So conversations opens up, and they ask our help. How can we join? And accordingly, we start. Okay, where do you live? And accordingly, put them in their respective lodges and stuff like this. So all of a sudden, we became somehow a brand ambassador for them, to a point where grand lodges start noticing that point and start using us right now to create their own cigars, from the Grand Master of New Jersey, New York, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and hopefully soon in Sweden and Germany also, and England. So they
serve their own charity.
And serve their own charity, because each one of our cigars has a specific charity that goes to. And that's how we, it is something unique that no other cigar company, I'm sure every cigar company is unique by themselves, but this is something that no other cigar company has. The support that came with it from the creation of it, from the beginning, no other cigar company, I guess, had it. And from the talk with many manufacturers, many of us, they told us, many respected ones, they told us in the 5 or 6 years of our existence, we are where they took them 15, 20 years to be where we are right now. And most of it is attributed, of course, to the support of the brothers all over the world. And also, of course, that's only works to a certain limit if you don't give them a good product also, that they can buy it once, twice, 3 times, and after that they say, okay, it's not. So we had to keep up with it. We have to keep upgrading our level of cigars every time, and learn the more secrets of the trade also, to keep up with it. So the support of the brethren was great also, absolutely. Our first 10 minutes on Facebook, when we first introduced Facebook, Hiram and Solomon, we got 721 requests, and Facebook shut us down immediately. And when we sent them why we shut us down, they said, oh, we think you're computerized, you're not a person. I said, no. So I had to send them IDs and show them that I'm a person. So they put me through a test that I need to recognize each one of these 721 to tell them who they are, because I call them brothers. So they say, how come they are brothers and you don't know who your brothers are? And of course, I failed the test, because those brothers are all over the world. I've never met them before, but they are brothers because they're just Freemasons. So, and it took a lot of convincing from us to convince them that this is a brotherhood and this is how it is. So they said we broke a record with Facebook of a matter of 10 minutes. I'm not talking about celebrities or something, and just regular public. In 10 minutes, 721 friend requests in 10 minutes. So that's the support that no other company in any way or shape they have it in any kind of business. And we are proud, very proud of that.
You spoke about the secretive element. Do you think that that there is a certain mystique of the unknown, probably a little spice of conspiracy theories, or why does Freemasonry bring forth such a plethora of strange blossoms?
Absolutely, that's the conspiracy. It's whatever you. I mean, I think there's no other fraternity or group in the world that has more con or pro with them. It's the most talked about subject in the world, library-wise or anything. And Masonry book were the second bestseller after the Bible and stuff. Anything has to do pre or against Masonry, and we always say we are not a secretive society. We are a society with some secret, and our secret is the mode of recognition, how we recognize each other, how we trust each other, how we have that connection with each other. That's about it. So people do not understand that, but they're welcome to create their own conspiracy, because all it does is help us actually. And there's a lot of movies if you watch, From Hell or with Johnny Depp, or National Treasure with what's his name? Forgot his name. What's his name? National Treasure. So there's a lot of movie that you watch, and of course Discovery Channel and CNN, all that stuff. People that bring different light to Masonry, which is, I would say, 80% of it, it's not true.
At least
accurate.
It's not accurate. It's not accurate. And on top of it, of course, having most of the famous people in the world, and you can look at it any way you want it, whether from presidents or prime minister or army generals, including Bolivar, Cigar. Bolivar is named after Bolivar. Bolivar was a Mason also. So they were all Freemasons. And you can look at it any way you want at the end. So if we control the world, our purpose is to hopefully one day we control the cigar world.
Did you at the very beginning envision the brand to grow into what it is today? Or was the prime idea really to make this the home for Mason brothers with a particular fondness for smoking cigars?
No, it was not in any way or shape. Neither did I dreamt or dare to dream that I will be where we are right now at the beginning. Right now, I know where I want to be, where we want to be with this company, what we want to accomplish. At the beginning, definitely not. We were shocked by it.
We went into that dire strait. In the beginning of the pandemic, it was very major decision we had to take, and we started doing it as like every day by day. At some point we had a drop down, we went all the way, let's stop everything. It's a lot of time invested, lots of money invested, lots of our outings, and nothing was happening except just the cigar. It saved us from some mental breakdown, like I said, because we were working almost 18 hours a day, if I'm not exaggerating, if not more, between emails. I was calling myself the CEO and the janitor of this company because I was doing everything at the same time. And so was Fouad doing. Everything was happening in that home office that we created. We moved even our stock to the house. We created a humidor. One of the bedrooms turned into a humidor. And then one day we decided we're going to stop all this, really. And that was like 6 months ago. And just when you think, you can live without it, we realized that, wait a minute, this is our baby. Are we giving it up? This baby is just going away. No, we can't do that. So we said, let's do it. And then that was a decision. Now we are more than anything. We know we're much stronger. We have lots of investors interested in the company, which is very good. Of course, it kind of gives us some big head because we're only 6 years in the existence of cigar making, not just smoking, but we're very proud of what we're doing, honestly. And of course, we only think of ourselves, we're still not rating ourselves, but we think we're tiny little small, but we're shining bright. Right. We're gonna do it.
I mean, during the pandemic, we opened the UK market. We grew. We opened the Russian market, the Ukraine market, Dubai market, Beirut market, and we definitely renew our relation with Johan in Austria, and a few other small countries here and there, especially in the South America, all the islands, from San Martin to U.S. Virgin Island and other places.
Yeah.
I mean, Johan is the perfect example of an exceptional gentleman of the cigar industry that he puts all his heart and soul into this, and people very much respond to that, and that is the foundation and the core of the cigar industry. To me, it's the people, it's their blood, sweat, and tears, as we often say, that we all put into this, trying to provide other people with those exceptional experiences and share that. When you work with partners, input subcontractors, whatever it might be, how do you make them understand the underlying principles that make Hiram and Solomon unique?
It is very challenging. It is very challenging. I mean, like when we first started with my partner, George at that time, he was a Mason, so he understood the Masonry thing. George is no longer with us. He retired during the pandemic, so we took over the company right now. But to make other people understand the relation between both of them and the uniqueness of the company, it takes some time, but once they realize it and they read some of the messages and they go into our Instagram page and the Facebook page, they will start understanding that passion. And I encourage many of these people to come with us to events to see what goes on, and to come to other events also to see the difference when it comes from here to different events. And even when we have a Zoom meeting like this, or we have Instagram live meeting, I encourage them to be there also, for them to see the difference, to see the passion, to see that connection that only few will understand.
Yeah, we have an amazing interaction with all the smokers, whether they know Hiram Solomon or they don't. They're so interested, at least to know something about it, whether they tried it before. It's amazing. When we released the Kuramos, which was released again during the pandemic a few months ago, and funny enough, in the Gulf region, in the Arab Gulf region, which is Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and we only sell this online. Some of them, they've never tried our other blends, but everybody wanted to buy this, which was quite intriguing. We really didn't understand how come you never had any Hiram and Solomon before, but you're buying a box after box after box for this exclusive one. It was also, again, a big reward. It's a rewarding feeling to see people interested in the brand because of what we are saying, and that gives us a lot of courage to continue. You know, when you haven't smoked a cigar, you wouldn't order a box. You usually order one stick. We don't sell it by stick. So we were thinking maybe they're going to buy a pouch of 5 or pouch of 10. I may say 90% of the orders were boxes, not one, more than one.
To a region where we don't exist even.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was some testimony for us, how the words went around and people were eager to go and buy something to try it, and the responses were tremendous, beautiful.
And also on the manufacturing side, do you feel that now you're with Plasencia and our dear friend David Blanco, he was our guest on the show. I know that you had some connection with sort of the way you started the blending process and how you ended up with Plasencia. Do you feel that the conversations now that you have with the manufacturers have changed, and are they also inspired by not just the values that you carry with the brand, but also sort of the Masonic idea behind it?
Yes, definitely. I mean, David Blanco was the person who took us to Plasencia, and we did the blends over there with him at that time. He's a brother Mason also, so he understood the idea of the concept of the company. At the Plasencia, we didn't have direct, I mean, yes, we met all Nestor and all the great people there, but we did not have direct, deep conversation, even though Nestor and the rest of them, they, at certain point, they wanted to open a lodge, and they want us themselves in Esteli, and they want us to put them in contact with the Grand Lodge of Nicaragua to do so. So yes, it creates that interest. But beside the Plasencia factory, right now we're rolling some of our cigars at the PDR factory in Dominican also. And yes, what you said is right. They're sitting and they're listening. They're asking questions about the fraternity, about the names, why the names, what do we are looking to do with the cigar, what is the cigar for, and what we're looking for, and creating that unique blend that brings that message to the smoker exactly the way we want it to be presented. So yes, it's not like before 4 or 5 years ago where give me whatever you have and I'll put the name. No, we are very engaged right now, 100% in the creation of every cigar with the company, master blenders, and the owners. And our recent trip to Dominican, we did 6 new blends, which one of them I proudly say that my wife created from zero. Technically, with the master blender from zero and build it up to wherever it's going to be. So yes, the interest is there, and as I said before, now we get calls from different companies, bigger manufacturer, much bigger manufacturer, asking us for what can we do for you now. And most surprisingly, most of them they knew the cigar, they smoked it. And another surprise thing, most of the owners of the major brand, without naming any names, are brothers also.
Now, you spoke about blends and the various different lines. How would you describe the portfolio philosophy of Hiram and Solomon? Do you try to play with sort of a particular sensory range, or is it more about creating many different experiences that would speak to many different audiences?
The first thing was the creating of the name. To come, how did we come up with the name of the Hiram and Solomon? And that was the first thing that we tackled. And Solomon, known to you guys, it's King Solomon from the Old Testament who built the Solomon Temple in Jerusalem. King Solomon is the son of David. And Hiram, there's actually 2 Hiram. One of them is King of Tyre, who was a very rich king at that time. We're talking during Solomon time. That King Solomon asked for his help to build the temple, and Hiram, King of Tyre, sends another Hiram, which is called Hiram the widow's son, who was the chief architect at that time, one very skillful architect in all kind of wood and brass and stuff, and he sends them to King Solomon, and they build the temple. Legend says that Hiram, the architect, got killed because he did not divulge the secrets. So Masonry took that story and built it into our story, legendary stories of integrity, that the last words spoken by Hiram before he got killed: my life you may take, by my integrity never. So the whole Masonry is built upon that thing. You never take my integrity, you can take my life. So that was the first challenge. We came up with the name Hiram and Solomon. Now we start, the thoughts were what we're going to name the cigar, what strengths we're going to do. Historically and until now, and in every country, they're almost all the same. In order to become a Freemason, you have to go to 3 degrees: Enter Apprentice, Fellowcraft, and Master Mason. So we said, we came up with what we're going to make our mild cigar, the Enter Apprentice, and our medium cigar, the Fellowcraft, and our full body cigar, the Master Mason. And the philosophy of the Enter Apprentice is when you become an Enter Apprentice, we prepare you to take your 2nd degree to become a Fellowcraft. Then we prepare you to become a Master Mason. So we said, okay, we're going to take the mild cigar, we're going to put a little kick to it. This way, somebody who smoked the mild cigar with the kick to it will be prepared to smoke the medium, and whomever smokes the medium with a little kick to it will be prepared to smoke the full body cigar. So this is our original line: the Enter Apprentice, the Fellowcraft, the Master Mason, which represent the 3 degrees of the Freemasons. And for non-Masons, it may not make some sense to it, but for the Masons, each one of these degrees represents some time in history in their life, some time of experience in their life that they will never forget. and we get a lot of messages, and when I read them, I'll be so happy, saying that when I smoked this cigar, it reminded me when I took my degree. It reminded me of those moments where those things happened to me. So that makes us so happy that we accomplished what we wanted it with that cigar. And from there on, we went and created the Shriner cigar, which the Shriner is another subgroup of the Masons that in the US and in Germany also, and the Philippines, they operate free hospitals for burn and orthopedic centers, and they're free for everyone who cannot afford to pay. So we created the Shriner cigar for them, and the proceed goes to Shriner Hospital. And when we called them, we said, we're going to create cigar for you. I know you're a hospital, but this is tobacco. Are you going to accept donations? They said, just send us the check. We're happy to take it. We have no problem with that. So, and from there on, we created the Grand Architect. The Grand Architect is the name of whatever you call it, the creator, God, Allah, Muhammad, Jesus, whomever you want to call, Krishna. Unlike what other people think is that we are against religion, you cannot become a Freemason unless you profess your belief in one God. I don't care who's your God, as long as you believe in one God. We call him the Grand Architect. For me, it's Jesus. For you, it's Allah. For the other person is Jehovah. It's one God. So the Grand Architect, and we call him the Grand Architect because he's the one who designed the word, geometry, the designing of the word of the architect. So that cigar, when we made it strong cigar with the Corojo and 2 Lajeros in it to present that powerful idea behind the Grand Architect. And the Traveling Man came up after that. The Traveling Man, again, it's another name for the Masons. So when I ask somebody, are you a Mason? I can ask them also, are you a traveling man? The idea behind it, it's a Freemason should always be traveling, looking for the truth, looking for the knowledge, looking for the light. We should always be traveling towards the east, the place of light, the place of knowledge. So we are traveling man. On our life, we always travel towards finding that truth and knowledge. So this is the name of the cigar, and we made it medium. And the idea for it, it's everyone, whether you're a weak person or strong person or in between, you're still going to travel, you're still going to look for your knowledge in your capacity, your own capacity, and you know, in your own way. So that was a medium cigar. And Veil Prophet came up also. The Veil Prophet is another degree in the Masons that belongs to a grotto group, that they have heart centers and eye centers. And the final creation that we had called the Kuramus, which we launched it during the pandemic. And that was designed specifically for the Grand Master of New Jersey. And his motto for the year, his phrase for the year was, we care for each other. Mm-hmm. So that was another challenge. What are we going to name the cigar now? And again, my wife went, and whenever she found time, and she looked and searched, she found that the Latin word curamus means we care for each other. Cura comes from the word of cure, to heal. So that's what we named that cigar for. And the one previous to that, the Unity cigar, it came in a perfect time where this crazy word, where division between different ethnicity, between everything. Our Grandmaster came and he said, I want the unity, strengths in unity. So we call the cigars the Unity, and we made it medium plus to bring that again, that no matter you're a strong person or weak person, we're all as one. And the cigar that we're preparing for right now, it's for the Grand Master of Georgia. His theme for the year is, we are stronger together. So in Freemasonry, we say one cord is a strong, 2 cord is stronger, 3 cord folded together cannot be broken. And we found the name Chaval. That's the new cigar. You are the first group that they hear the new name of the cigar. It's going to be called Chaval. Chaval in Hebrew means tied together, knots. the rope that ties us all together in one unity, in one strength. And so you see that each one of our cigars has a meaning, has a purpose to it, and has a charity that goes to. I hope that explains some of the philosophy that we try to incorporate into the creation of this company.
Absolutely. Beautifully. Dordo had a question here regarding the specific tobaccos. Fire away, my friend.
Thank you very much, Reinhard. I never met you in person, but I hope one day we will meet at some event or something else. I must say, just as information for you, that Alex Cigar Dandy that you know on Instagram is my friend, and best regards to all from Belgrade, from Serbia. I will be fast so that everyone can also ask a question or something else. Hiram and Solomon Cigars are here in Serbia too. We got them, I think, a few days ago. So it's a very interesting moment that I'm hearing and watching tonight, this session. I have a particular question regarding the filler for your cigars. Is the filler mainly from Nicaragua or from, mix, like from other countries as well?
No, most of
That's it for now.
Thank you. It's a great question. Even though we're all in Nicaragua, all our cigars have tobacco from different countries. I'll give you an example, like the Shriner cigar has an Indonesian, has Dominican, has Brazilian, 2 regions of Nicaragua, and Brazilian. 5 countries, 6 regions. The Traveling Man also 5 countries, 4 countries, 5 regions. Again, the idea behind it, it's I don't care which country you come from, I don't care what color you are, we all blended into one great cigar that we can create. And that's, I think, what Cuban cigar misses, because Cuban cigar uses only, and with all due respect to all Cuban cigars and Cuban brands also, they only use Cuban tobacco. Doing the cigar at the Plasencia in Nicaragua or in Dominican or in Honduras, you have the possibility of going into different countries, creating that beautiful, different, same like the chef who brings different ingredient to create that dish, whether from Japan or France or from to create that dish. We believe that variety that people outside the US just start discovering, and it's getting stronger every year. That variety of tobacco combined together from different countries into that. So each our one cigars has different tobacco. You can go on our website, all the tobaccos are listed in there actually, from which country and what's the filler, what's the binder, what's the wrapper. We divulge all that. We don't have anything that it's not there. The only cigar that it's not there, it's the Unity cigar, because at the request of the Grandmaster, he wanted to keep this blends as a secret, which a lot of people said, again, the secret of the Freemasons, you're proving it into the cigar. So that's the only one. But beside that, all the cigars are on our website, from different countries and masterfully blended together.
Creating an osmosis in all the blends and all the perfumes and aromas. That's the intention.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And yes, Serbia was one of the few countries that one of the countries that we opened during the pandemic also, and they're doing great also over there.
Thank you.
Many thanks to you for the wonderful question, and a little segue here as an info for all of you. On Monday, we have the 3rd show of the virtual Puro Sabor Festival here at the Lightemup Lounge, and we actually have Nestor Andres Plasencia joining us as our special guest of honor. That's 8:30 Central European, 2 p.m. 30 Eastern Standard. I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with our series of virtual Puro Sabors by now, but you can find it on our website, and hopefully you can log in to one of the upcoming sessions. Speaking of Nicaragua, how could we not bring in our dear friend over in London, proudly representing the country we all came to love. Ricardo, please fire away with your question. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Reinhard. It's always a pleasure to join in, and you know how much I support and how much I admire what you do, what you created here in this past year, bringing together these cigar makers, and in this case, very special couple to me, it's an honor and a pleasure to meet you. So I couldn't let this opportunity go by to introduce myself. As Reinhard said, my name is Ricardo, and I'm the Deputy Ambassador of my country to the UK, to Ireland, and to Iceland. And it's been incredibly enlightening, inspiring, and very, very interesting to hear from you. Not only your personal stories, the philosophy and the depth with which you live personally, but also I say brand, and how you've been able to bring that in. And I have to express a couple of things. First of all, how happy you make me, and I speak on behalf of my people that I represent, is that you chose Nicaragua as well, together with Dominican Republic, to be the country that is honored to produce these beautiful cigars. And I couldn't think of a better partner than Plasencia. Anyone who knows about cigars knows that probably the best cigar growers in the world. And that couldn't be a better match to what you've done. So first of all, my gratitude to both of you for having done so. You know how much well-being the cigar industry creates in my nation, but not only my nation. I mean, you were able to bring that well-being as well through the charity and the great work that you do through different organizations in Masonry and others and hospitals and so on. So that's incredibly generous of you. I have to say, I'm fascinated about what you told us today about Freemasonry. I'm quite ignorant, unfortunately, about it. I do have to say, my most memorable teacher in Nicaragua, who was a history and a literature teacher, I remember the last year of high school, he confided to me he was a Freemason. And I didn't quite compute what it is. But now that I've met people, brothers of your brotherhood, I can see the level of depth and philosophy to which they live their lives, and that's really profound. And how beautiful the brotherhood is. There's certain strength. You mentioned that, and we have it here, that brothers and sisters of the leaves, and how we look after each other, whether you're in government, whether you're planting the seeds, whether you're retailing, reporting, manufacturing, doesn't matter. We're all here together, we're all equal, and we're all helping each other. So it's been really, really fascinating. And having someone like Reinhard ask you his questions, it's been amazing. So thank you so much for sharing this level of knowledge. And the second thing I wanted to do is for you to know that I'm here in any way we can. It's my job, it's our jobs, to help in any way we can here in the UK. So you have a friend that we haven't met personally, but you have a brother of the leaf and in representation of my government to help in any way we can to get as many people to try your cigars in the UK. So you have me at your service, please.
Thank you, Ricardo. Thank you. I don't know if you found my wife lived in London for over 23 years.
I was your neighbor next door.
Really amazing. I love how strong. Well, you're an amazing couple, but Romy, how much you're bringing the empowerment of women to cigar smoking. That's something we are very passionate about in Nicaragua. You may know it's the 5th most gender equal country in the whole world, and the top 4, they're all in the Nordic circle. So there's no one single country outside of the Arctic Circle in that top 5. So I think that great balance and having women join, this is something we feel very, very powerful. So anything we can do to help promote that, we'd love to see more women. I love how you share. I never thought of why the strength, and I think that's a great hypothesis. Maybe the great colognes and how beautiful women smell much better than men usually, and that has to do with the cigar choosing.
Well, if you know, I mean, I'm sure you know, but I always emphasize, and I like to highlight that more than 85% of the industry is those women, from the planting to the farms to the plantation, everything goes through women, and they bring the food with their hard work, hard job, lots of passion put in it. If you go to the factories and you see that, you realize that little stick going through 300-400 hands, because it's handmade, and most of those beautiful hands are ladies very passionately doing what they're doing. And every time I like to emphasize, when somebody tells me women smoke cigar, I go like, she's cooking, she's allowed to eat her work, right? This is the cigar too, same thing. All that passion is 85% of them are ladies.
That's a
And we
hard
salute
fact.
those ladies everywhere in the world.
All of a sudden, we became a minority now.
But that's wonderful to hear that much level of commitment to that. I think that's something that we can love to see more of that coming in, and the fact that you're bringing down to that. And I love that you're a converter Cuban cigar smoker. I respect Cuba, and I have a Cuban sister. I love it. But here in London, we're little by little conquering palates and people tasting and have been missing out. So that's wonderful. And perhaps just so we don't want to monopolize, I want to monopolize my opportunity to introduce and say hello to you. Want to ask you, maybe it's thinking a bit too much ahead of myself, but perhaps being the philosophical and deep couple that you are, years ahead, when you look back, the way you saw it and where you could go, what would you like your sort of legacy in the cigar industry to be at some point? So if you're working towards something deeper and stronger, what would you like that at some point to say, yes, we sold the cigars, yes, we did the lines, but is there something deeper and stronger that you would like to be able to leave as a footprint that people will remember you and your brand in the cigar industry?
It's going to be, for me, definitely it's going to be more of the philanthropy aspect of the cigar and the industry, and how much we're taking from it, and we could reciprocate as much, because at the end, this is a passion. We all have our other businesses that we really neglected at some point. No regrets, believe me, but we're so happy with the little we're participating in some charities. Our goal, of course, is to go bigger into philanthropy and helping and creating even more charities. Every child going to school is a future good element. I'm not going to say more than that. It's a respect for all those little charities that are helping children, helping families, ladies in very hard, difficult times nowadays. So we do like to encourage that. And my goal personally, as well as my husband's goal, I'm sure, is to create even more charities, to be more respectful in that aspect. That's the main thing. Because listen, doing this business without, people think, oh, there is a lot of money involved. Yes, it's a lot of investment in time that money cannot buy. It's a lot of investment in your days and night, and passion that you can do some other things. Well, we go to events, to lots of charity events that take a lot of our time, a lot of traveling, but we're happy. At the end of the day, you come back, when you're giving a check, as little as it is, it can be just a $10,000 check. It might be tiny, but it might also make a lot of people happy there. In some countries, $10,000, like our countries or in Europe, doesn't mean much. In Nicaragua, it means a lot. In Dominican, it means a lot. It's like hundreds of families taking advantage of it. So we see that. We both would love to end our lives in the future just doing this for the charity and nothing more than that, with the passion for the cigars, of course.
Yeah, definitely. My goal and her goal also, I would like soon, and I'm sure we will, to become a household brand for cigars and for every smokers. And through doing that, it will empower us to give more to charity, and at the same time help the countries that we are buying cigars from, to help the people over there also. And for me as a Freemason, of course, my main goal to spread the right words, the right message about Masonry throughout the world, whether through our cigars or through our daily interaction with people ourselves.
Thank you so much for your
Thank
answers.
you, Ricardo, for your testimony. It's very valuable for us. Thank you.
I look forward to welcome you some point in London. I look forward to witnessing your success, and look forward to learning more about Masonry. Really do, and watching you succeed and to achieving what you would like to do in terms of being generous and charitable.
You are in the right
Delighted
country.
to meet you.
Ricardo, you are in the right country in London, the birthplace of Freemasonry. So when you're ready, you let us know.
To be one, ask one.
Not many people know. In every band that we have, there's a small thing here. It says initials, what says to be one, ask one. And the reason for that, we don't ask you to join. We want you have the right to ask us to join. on your own free will and accord. That's why we are called Freemasons. You came on your own free will and accord. So
beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From London over all the way to the West Coast, Brian, you've been very patient with your hand held up high here. Great to have you, buddy. Please chime in.
Hi, thank you. Yep, my virtual hand is tired. Yeah, I wanted to have a couple of compliments and also a question. First, I gotta say I love every time Ricardo speaks. You're so enthusiastic and positive, and always amazingly well dressed, and the best COVID cut. Your hair is amazing. It's very impressive. So compliments to you, and I'm sure you smell great also. No worries there. And then also, I wanted to compliment your focus on integrity that you were speaking about earlier. It's one of my favorite words. I call it nobility. I always say, you can do something right, but like, you could rob a bank the right way, but it wouldn't be the right thing to do. So I think that's great. I had a question. You kind of spoke about it earlier in terms of going into the shops as a customer, and then they would sort of assume that you were buying for a husband or a boyfriend. And my family's kind of been breaking stereotypes my entire life. My mom can build houses and work on cars, and she's a mechanic, so she'd go into the auto parts store, and they would automatically address my dad, and she would be like, "Excuse me, I know what I'm talking about. You're going to talk to me." So I think that's great. And I wonder, okay, so do you feel like there's a little bit of a stereotypical image when people speak of the camaraderie around cigars and the lounge culture? And do you feel like it's a little bit in people's minds an image of gentlemen there, and they're smoking and they're getting away from their family, and they're having their cigars and their banter and their drinks? And do you feel like that it is sometimes the image of that is exclusive to women, and has that been a challenge for you in this industry?
For you?
No, I want you to. Well, listen, when we go to events, more than ever now, we see couples, or we see two different sexes, whether they're partners, they're couples, they're just friends. And equally, we really rarely see some stereotype of such as your mother's incidents that happened often. When I was in London, it happened more often to me, like I was mentioning. Here in the United States, that stereotype is fading away. Really, it's not anymore existing. It takes a few minutes. And the beauty of the cigar thing, you rarely encounter that flirting approach, right? I'm not saying you shouldn't flirt with a lady if she's available and there, but the beauty of it, it's always about the cigar itself, whatever you're smoking, whether you're smoking the same brands, but that conversation gets so deeply passionate in just a few seconds, right? Everybody wants to exchange their own feeling. It's a feeling. It's not just an experience. You can't tell someone to smoke this because this is the blend. It's a good blend. There are hundreds of similar blends out there. But why you like it, your palate, your feelings, your emotions, when you just started, that first puff and it took you to another world and you want to just share it. So yeah, I rarely see that. And I mean, I see it very few times, but again, I always say, remember, this is a world of equality today, and we are really equal. I don't care what some think, but we definitely are. I'm not even fighting for equality. I know I'm equal, so I work from that point on.
Cool. Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
In our travel through different lounges throughout the world and stuff like this, and I do put the responsibility on having that thing starting getting fade away between female and male smokers on the retailer themselves, because it's the responsibility of the retailer to feel female welcome and feel secure when they come inside their retail shop, not to create that that group of men that's sitting on the side and the women sitting on the side. It's the retail responsibility to make her feel comfortable, make her feel secure, that she's not going to be attacked, whether sexually or whatever it is, or by people. Or what is this big cigar in your hand? What do you do? No, it's retail responsibility, and we try to educate retailer about that also. When they ask how can we increase our sales, my first question to them will be, what's your percentage of female here? And usually they go 5%. I said, there's much more than that female smokers. You need to start increasing that. You need to start having ladies' night. You need to have to encourage every smoker over there to bring, whether their wife, their mother, their sister, whatever, bring them and have a conversation with them. And when I go back to that cigar lounge and the people who implemented these stuff, they saw their sales increase, because again, they are the other half of our population, and their buying power is as much as the buying power of a man, if not more, because they control more. So
may I say also, you see all the influencers on the social media. You can always see like lots of male influencers, and they're amazing, as equally ladies. I know I can name a lot of them. They have real credibility, and people wait for their exposure, or for their talking about, I mean, how to explain, how to feel, how to talk about the cigar itself or the brand. It's amazing. A lot of lady influencers have followers, and they are real followers. They listen, they wait for them. Equally, like, okay, maybe the number is a little less than men, but it's there. And probably lots of male followers to these ladies are just for the cigar and nothing else. Lots of respectful ones.
I also put the responsibility on the female smokers themselves to present themselves in the right way, to present themselves as a cigar smoker, not as a sexual object with the cigar. I encourage them not to do that, because we do see those two kind in there. And please, when you smoke a cigar, present it the right way. Present it as a cigar. It's a noble thing. It's a passion. Present it that way, and you will get more respect. And when they respect themselves, we will respect them more even also.
Definitely, we reciprocate.
I cannot respect the person who does not respect themselves.
In the meantime, I would love to welcome Abe Flores, who just joined us here at the lounge. He was watching on the Facebook live stream earlier. But Abe, welcome back to the lounge. It's a pleasure to have you, and thanks for tuning in.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
We missed you already. We were with him all last week, and he took care of us like part of his family, and we have to definitely respect that. And we can't wait to reciprocate his hospitality. Beside the fact that he's one of the most impressive people who started again. Nothing came just like that. This guy worked hard. And he's so proud of what he's done, and we're so proud of him as well. So cheers, and hi, Abe.
Thank you, guys. I'm glad to see you guys again. It's only been a week, I think. I got a whole plate of keep it for you. Anytime you want, I'll make it for you.
We're definitely returning to that beautiful land you have over there in the Dominican, and share again the moments and the beautiful experience in his own factory. This guy is super professional. I have to admit that I was impressed. We know him as a person, superbly nice person, but then also how professional it is to see what he's doing.
And his knowledge about the cigar. Absolutely. And his willingness to listen. One thing I like about Abe, and I mentioned that if you heard me before, that technically he listens what we want. And every time I ask him about his opinion, he tells me, no, tell me more about what you want and what you like, and accordingly I will give you. And so I respect that, Abe.
Thank you.
And I just told you about 2 hours ago that so far the cigar that we did with you, the first one, the Kuramos, is so far being accepted, and we think that's our best creation so far. I was just talking to you 2 hours ago. So we'll do more.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, guys. I'm very honored for the chance to make a cigar for you guys, and for a great company and for a great cause. You guys always have heart and mind when you make a cigar, or to give back. And I'm very honored that I'm making cigars with a great company and great people and a great couple. So I can't wait for
meeting people like Abe. Is the last thing we talk about when we're with him is the money. The last thing is the numbers we're talking. And when I was saying let's talk numbers, he goes like, what numbers? I go like, well, we need to talk about some numbers here. So he is so passionate. It's just like it's the last thing on the list to talk about. He's a shrewd businessman, but nevertheless he cares the least of his worries is the cigar, is the money that is circulating between the buyer and the producer. So that's great also.
Which will bring another subject. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be ready to launch our second cigar with Abe called Cigar for Warriors. It is a group in the US that basically serve the warriors around the world, soldiers around the world. And we created special cigars for them. And it's called Cigar for Warriors. That has the logo on them. And they wanted to call Live to Serve. And that's what the cigar is called. And the proceed of all that cigar is going to go 100% of the proceed. It's going to go towards the soldiers and their families and stuff like that. So hopefully we'll be ready to launch as soon as Abe ship those products next week.
It's a big responsibility for us to respect, and it is also a big pride we take about it. Having them choose us to roll for them, to blend their cigars, and great. Thank you, Abe, again. And thanks Cigar for Warriors, of course.
Abe, thank you for logging in as well. I mean, we thoroughly enjoyed the show that we did together, and people were excited about having you on and listen and learn about PDR. So it's a pleasure to have you back, and thanks for everything that you do.
No, thank you. It's their show. I'm just listening.
Oh no, you're welcome.
It takes always two to tango. It doesn't work on one person, right? It has to have. It's a teamwork. It's never one person doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, the very same has always been true for Lightemup, and it's all about the community, the camaraderie, and bringing people together, enjoying what we do, and share that passion for the cigar culture, for the cigar community, and the wonderful world we all get to experience here.
I did see one of the participants here was Michael. Michael, who was in relation with Werner, our distributor in Germany. I would like to say hello. One of our strongest market is in Germany with Werner Casacandra, and Michael was here, and so I'd like to say hello also.
Another gentleman that would like to say hello is our dear brother Ride in Dubai. I know it's late over there, pal, but thanks for still being here with us.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How's it going? Always great to see you guys.
Thank you. Same here.
No, don't worry about being late. Reinhard, it's always an absolute pleasure to be on the show. I'm sorry I logged in a bit late, but I didn't realize there was a time change, so sorry about that. From the first time we met, Romi and Fouad, honestly, we clicked, and I love the relationship that we've been developing on the friendship side, on the personal side, definitely on the business and the partnership side. I really have no questions. I love the relationship that we have, and all that I wanted to say is I applaud you for all the effort. I love the cigars. They are having an amazing reaction here in Dubai. They continue to have an amazing audience and an amazing following and loving here in Dubai. And we're very much committed to continue to work together for the whole region, the GCC specifically. So we thank you for all your support. We thank you for all your efforts, and we have nothing to say but wish you the best that you definitely deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. It's an honor to hear that. It's a reward also. Thank you so much.
Hopefully soon we'll be able to visit and do some beautiful events.
One other thing. I'm extending Ricardo was brilliant in extending you an invite to the UK. Allow me to do the same and extend an invite for you to Dubai. We can't wait to have you here. Dubai is open for business. I just had an event 3 days ago that went in amazingly. And we're ready whenever you are. Ramadan is coming in a couple of days, which means that for a month doing cigar events is not very much doable. But following that, you choose the time, and I'll make it happen.
We will plan one after Ramadan, hopefully.
Yes, we got jabbed already. We took our vaccine just for that. I was against it completely,
Excellent.
but then traveling was my other passion. I was like between traveling or staying here all the time. No, I got vaccinated. We both got vaccinated just for the sake of continuing what we're doing with love.
The first thing Romi said, she said, we need to get vaccinated and go to Dubai.
Yeah.
I said,
There you go. I love that. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, we did it.
So we'll see you soon for sure.
I look forward. It's amazing to see that smile. It's a breath of fresh air to have that positive energy. Keep it going. God bless.
Thank you.
Reinhard, you have your first fan. Definitely, Rad is your first fan.
Yes, indeed.
I am. I definitely
He's
am.
way more than that. He's a dear brother of the Leaf, and yeah, he's part of the Lightemup family. That's for sure. Like, so many wonderful people that have been joining us for such a long time. It means a tremendous lot to us. So also, Rad, thanks for everything that you do and for being our wonderful host for the Pura Sabor shows as well.
My absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Before we wrap things up, I would love to take a slight look back in history, and I'm curious as to how, in your opinion, has the Hiram and Solomon project changed not only your perspective on the culture of cigar smoking, but also your relationship of the two of you and the relationship towards the Brotherhood and Freemasonry on a larger level?
That question is for me or for her?
No, it's for you.
I guess you both have to answer.
Listen, we work together. We work together almost 24 hours. I mean, we're together 24 hours, and we work together. Our office is in. We run our business from home. Beside the office that we have, the distribution center that we're opening now, a bigger one.
The headquarters is here. Is any time of the day. I mean, we don't disconnect from the cigar.
We're just building right now a new warehouse, and our relation is just tremendous, and our passion together definitely. This is how we met. We met through the cigar, and when I first got in touch with Romi through Instagram. It was through the cigar. It just wanted some, when I looked at her page and I saw a decent page, somebody with a decent...
with a beautiful lady.
Absolutely, the most beautiful lady for me. Wanted to see if I can send her a few cigars just to have her opinion, because I was trying to grow the female part of it. So I was looking always for female influencers to send the cigar. So that passion led us to get married about 14 months ago, and we're stronger than ever. And definitely cigar what joined us, and the business gonna keep on going. Her influence on the cigar business through her knowledge, through the financial world that she was in, and her relation in Europe and stuff like this that made us much bigger in that part of the world. I look forward for a lifetime with her, and our love, I think, grows daily on a bigger level I never expected to be.
I actually think I couldn't have asked for a better ending and a better closing statement for an inspiring show together with both of you. And I would love to thank you from heart for everything that you shared with us, for all the wonderful work that you do, all the charities that you support. And it's been an absolute pleasure to learn more about Hiram and Solomon Cigars, the inspiration behind it, and especially the two of you. Because as I always say, cigars provide us with a glimpse into the heart and soul of the people behind them. And I think that was yet again very much tangible and feelable during tonight's show. So thank you very much for that.
Reinhard, thank you. It was really a beautiful moment and a prideful moment for you to ask us to join you in this beautiful show, to give our perspective of our business, and looking forward to join each one of you hopefully soon and share a smoke with you, because there is nothing better than sitting down and share a smoke with each one of you, hopefully soon, in every country, in every state, and every place. So hopefully we'll.
At least we have one thing in common, right? All strangers, all people that we haven't met in person, but there is always something that is relating us to this beautiful passion.
Yeah, it's the passion of the cigars combined with the passion of Masonry. Perfect combination.
Wonderfully said. Many thanks.
Salute and cheers to everyone.
Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks for the time that you guys took to listen to us. And I appreciate every moment.
All the very best to you. And we'll see you all again next week for another live.
Lizardo just joined also from UK right there. Hi, Lizardo.
And we had many people say hello over on Facebook as well.
And I also want to say hello to Joey Blanco. Joey, I saw you in many of our live shows. Hello also.
An amazing array of people. Thanks for all your help.
Meet you all in person. Have a wonderful night and be healthy and keep safe.